going to save her.
You can't. Doesn't work that way.
Christina is dead.
She doesn't have to be.
You cannot alter this reality while inside the source code.
I don't have a joke. I'm gonna be on. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, Chief. I do not have a joke for this one.
Yo, I don't mind. I just want to be the first person to say, this director is David Bowie's son! Beat you to it, fuckface! Oh!
Why isn't he called Duncan Bowie? It's fucked up. Anyway, hi. Welcome to Bomb Squad Matinee. I'm your host and master of ceremony, Tanner Richard Kraft, and with me I have...
Hello, listeners. My real name is Christopher Dorner, LAPD. This is the 11th time I've recorded this intro. I've been dead for 13 years, and I have no idea why anyone would bring me back in 2026.
It's true. And today, we're talking about a modern classic, if you ask me, or at least just a perfect little thriller from the era where they still made 90-minute movies for adults on the regular. Nowadays, if a movie's made for adults, it's at minimum an hour and 45 minutes long. I watched You and Me and Tuscany. Tuscany? I'm not Italian.
Tuscany, right?
Tuscany? It's a hard C?
Yes, it is, my man.
It's a hard. Okay. I liked it. It's good. It was an hour and 45 minutes though, which is fine. That's not that much longer than 90 minutes, but also like that movie was made 15 years ago. I feel like it would have been 90 minutes somehow. I don't know. Movies used to be 90 minutes all the time. This movie's 90 minutes.
Almost exactly 98 minutes? Oh, I should have looked
It's something. It's under 100 minutes. That's the real barometer to me. It's less than 90 minutes even, and more is it at least hour 33. And it's this is a Jake Gyllenhaal heavy movie. If you like Jake Gyllenhaal, boy is he in it a lot. It's short-haired Gyllenhaal. You don't get short-haired Gyllenhaal a lot.
We're running out of that.
We're running out of that. He likes leaving his hair long, or he likes playing vaguely Charlie Chaplin, Fatty Arbuckle characters. Watch The Bride. No longer in theaters. He basically plays like a variation of Charlie or Fatty Arbuckle. More, I guess, Gene Kelly. He's basically playing Gene Kelly.
Hey, what happened in
Very
that
different from
episode?
Fatty Arbuckle, I know. Only Cody and I saw it, and Cody hated it.
Oh. Seems like somebody
I liked it fine, and it just seems like, let's do Night at the Museum. Anyway, we're talking about source code. Before we get into that, it stars Jake Gyllenhaal. So for warm-up question day, I wanted to ask, what's your favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movie? There are a lot of great answers. Austin, I've heard you praise the movie Enemy a lot. I've always heard you praise Enemy, a movie you've totally seen.
Son of a goddamn
I know
bitch.
you've seen Enemy.
Revealing to everybody on the show, I haven't seen Enemy, you son of a bitch!
Austin, it's okay. I haven't. I've just watched Chris Stuckman's video explaining it.
It's the
I
spider
still need to go
one,
around
right?
to watching it. Yeah, it's the spider one where at the end he like walks in and his wife's a spider and he sighs. This happened to me.
That's like,
These events happened to me.
I'm sorry, that's what I thought art movies were gonna be when I was 13. That's how I thought they were all gonna end. It's just...
Everyone's wife spider. Everyone's wife spider from Avatar.
So, what's the... Fuck you. So wait, the opening question is what's your
favorite
Gyllenhaal?
Jake Gyllenhaal movie?
Alright. Big drink for that one. It feels like there's two right answers. It's either Nightcrawler or Brokeback Mountain. Nightcrawler because it's his most transformative role. He freaked the fuck out on that one. And Brokeback Mountain because it's possibly the most daring thing he ever did. And truth be told, I'm siding with Brokeback. I know we already did an episode on this, but as a bisexual man, you know that my bias will not allow me to spare our audience of this repetition. But if I had to pick one that wasn't from like the big two heavy hitters, I'd go with Detective Loki and Prisoners. Americans, they love competency porn. And this is Gyllenhaal playing Rust Cole from True Detective. He's like the calm counterweight to Hugh Jackman's fucking screaming, raging dad. He worked with Denis Villeneuve when they were making the movie to make the character more interesting than the one that was originally in the screenplay. Detective Loki, he was like supposed to be a little more like straight-laced, buttoned up, but Gyllenhaal pushed to make him more like mysterious and unsettling. to match kind of like the larger tone of the movie. I would say that's a fair way to describe Prisoners. He's got this like weird twitchy energy as if he's like barely holding it all together beneath the surface. The perfect representation of like this clean-shaven cop with weird-looking prison tattoos. And also, I just want to take a moment to say, sometime before I saw Prisoners, I somehow got the impression that it was one of those movies like Don't Look Now or The Vanishing, where somebody gets fucking kidnapped and they're just not found. Like, it's just kind of an explanation of how fucked up people get when that happens. About, like, the grief people go through and, like, what drives the Wolverine to become a torture person. And because of that, I avoided watching Prisoners for 12 years. Figured, who the fuck needs that? Imagine my surprise. So, for anybody out there who's afraid of watching Prisoners, thinking it's just some, like, grim art house movie about how much it sucks to lose a child, don't worry. It's so much crazier than that. Please go check it out. So, yeah, my answer is Brokeback Mountain. To hear me give that movie its proper respects, go check out Bomb Squad Matinee episode 89 with special guest Orion Agnew. It's great shit. Back to you, Tanner.
Great stuff, great stuff. I'm glad you brought up Prisoners. Fun fact, Prisoners is actually his highest rated movie on IMDb.
Damn.
I fucked up. I've created a question that I can't pull up a bullshit list of, and
Hold on.
I can't pull. There's an objective answer to Jake Gyllenhaal movie. Was Jake Gyllenhaal in the movie? That doesn't mean I can't say a very funny answer, like Accidental Love from 2015, which is a David O. Russell movie that is so bad that David O. Russell took his name off of it. Apparently tried to do the Alan Smithy thing, but they didn't let him go by Alan Smithy, so instead he went by Alan Green. This came out the same year the movie he directed, Joy, came out, and I'm pretty sure Joy was nominated for an Oscar for Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah, he directed some movie where Jake Gyllenhaal plays like a fat senator or something. I haven't actually seen it. I used to own a DVD copy of it because my parents saw it for $1 in a 7-Eleven, and they were like, well, Tanner likes Jake Gyllenhaal, and I'm pretty sure that was the extent of it. I still haven't seen it. This is a real movie. I am not making this up.
I googled Jake Gyllenhaal fat movie and just Jake Gyllenhaal American actor came up. What does that mean?
It means he's fat.
You would think this would be like the movie where the one guy played the guy who killed John Lennon. Like, it would come up first result, you know? Jake Gyllenhaal fat movie, that's none of them. What? If you find the name for this movie, you let me know. Huh.
Oh, did I not say it?
I think you might.
Accidental Love. It's Accidental Love. Sorry.
He's fat.
I thought I said it.
Got it.
He's chubby in that movie. I remember him being chubby. Maybe he's not chubby. Did I imagine that?
Jake Gyllenhaal weight gain movie. I see.
His eyes look gigantic in it. Anyway, not the movie I'm picking. There's, of course, another great answer for this one. It's a movie that came out in 2001 where Jake Gyllenhaal plays a titular character. I'm, of course, talking about Bubble Boy. Yeah, baby, Bubble Boy. Bubble Boy is the only real Jake Gyllenhaal movie that came out in 2001. I can't think of anything else of note that came out that year with Gyllenhaal.
You're a son of a bitch. You fucking bastard.
Yeah, no, Donnie Darko came out that year, but it's also the same year Bubble Boy came out, which is a movie, was one of the first movies I watched with my ex-fiance, and I remember liking it.
Bubble Boy good?
I haven't seen it in 10 years. It has a 5.7 on IMDb. I used to own a DVD copy of the original Bubble Boy, which was called The Boy in the Bubble, starring John Travolta. It was a TV movie from the 70s.
Nice.
Excuse me. Sorry, I burped. There are a lot of great Jake Gyllenhaal movies. You know, you could go Zodiac here. Zodiac's pretty good. You could go a really recent one, and honestly, I almost picked this one, Nightcrawler. I guess it's not that recent. It's
2014, right?
12 years old. Fuck me. Fuck me. It's 12 years old. Fuck. That's pretty good. He was really good in Ambulance from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I like how post Nightcrawler, people just hire him to play a crazy person. I do want to give a shout out to a movie called Demolition. came out in 2015. It was Jean-Marc Vallée's last movie he directed before his death a couple years ago. He did some TV. That's the one where that famous GIF/video of Jake Gyllenhaal like coming off a subway with headphones on and he's just dancing like a crazy person in the streets of New York. That's that movie. This is the movie that comes from.
Right on.
However, at the end of the day, I think my favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movie is the first Jake Gyllenhaal movie. For me, my answer is October Sky. I fucking adore October Sky. It's a Joe Johnston movie. Joe Johnston is one of my favorite directors. He is very good at like that old Americana optimism thing, and he also directed Jurassic Park 3, which is kind of fun. He did Rocket Man, he did Captain America, and he did October Sky, probably his best movie. I just called it The Rocketeer. October Sky is great. It stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Chris Cooper, Laura Dern. It's based off of a true story of a coal miner that wants to work for NASA, Homer Hickam, and he does grow up to be work at NASA. Homer Hickam might be retired now, but I know he's still alive, and he still worked at NASA, at least at the time this movie came out. You might know Homer Hickam best nowadays for that famous screenshot from like a decade ago of this person on Twitter that says, "Everyone shut the fuck up, I just got an internship at NASA."
That's him?
And some random person says language. That's Homer Hickam.
Holy shit! I always felt so bad for that. I think they eventually got a job at NASA. I think they eventually came around. It just took a lot longer because they did that.
Homer Hickam went out of his way to try and get that person's job back. Because when Homer Hickam said, "I am on the National Space Council that oversees NASA," he was just trying to like, he had nothing to do with that person losing the internship.
Of course.
He had nothing to do with it.
Oh my god.
Matter of fact, he tried to undo that decision. But it's a great fucking movie. Watch October Sky if you haven't. But honestly, if not October Sky, my favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movie might just be the movie we're talking about today. I'll tell you this much. I know for sure it's my favorite Duncan Jones movie, a guy who showed great promise and, well, Moon and Source Code are good.
He made Source Code. He made Source Code.
But he made Source Code, and then he made Warcraft, which, yeah, I've heard its defenders. Then he made Mute. That was 8 fucking years ago now.
He's working on an animated movie. You know, that's always
he has
great for a comeback.
he has a Rogue Trooper movie in post-production.
Yep. It's been in development for
They're
a long
making
time.
a Rogue Trooper movie?
Affirmative, yep. It was supposed to come out in 2025, and then they just mysteriously tabled it forever, and we don't know when it's coming out now. It's crazy. I'm sorry you had to find out like this.
If you have an animated movie on your calendar and then you yank it from your calendar without any indication of when it's coming out, that either means one of two things. One, you just don't know how to market it. And considering this is based off of an existing IP, you should be able to figure out how to market it, which makes me think the actual answer is it's really fucking bad.
No, it could also mean that it's actually the third entry in the Spider-Verse series. That could be why they tabled it.
I couldn't consider it. I never considered it. Yeah, it's either really bad, impossible to market, or beyond the Spider-Verse. Fuck me. Austin, what do you think of Source Code?
Look at me. Everything's gonna be okay.
Oh man, favorite Duncan Jones movie. Okay. Tanner, we're friends, right? Tanner.
Yeah, we're friends.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't like it?
Okay, I'll start from the beginning. So, here we are. A movie about the world's best military-grade speedrunner. Why is he the best, you might ask? Because he's immune to the speedrunner's greatest natural predator, doxing. This man has already been doxed and killed before he started speedrunning, and now nothing can stop him. Okay, I gotta admit, I was gonna come in here fucking swinging. Of the Duncan Jones movies about an isolated guy who finds out he's dying over and over again for some mission, this might be my second favorite. I rewatched Moon on a vacation recently, and the world building in that, it was like cynical in this way that I thought was more politically interesting. Also, wicked props to Duncan Jones for making a better version of Mickey 17 on a $5 million budget. Fucking rock and roll. Truth be told, yeah, I'm coming in here swinging. I loved this movie when I was younger. There was this incredible excitement around Duncan Jones before he went and made Warcraft, which, by the way, was still the highest grossing video game movie ever made at the time, and yet somehow still put him in the hot seat then until the present day. But watching Source Code back in 2011 when I was a junior in high school, fucking A+ experience. Fucking excellent time. This go around, the dialogue, it kind of felt a little stilted. The characters on the train I didn't find were interesting, and I got the impression this might be one of those movies that might not hold up so well on a rewatch, or maybe it worked a lot better 15 years ago when it was up against shit like Real Steel, Transformers, Dark of the Moon. You know, this is fucking Citizen Kane compared to Transformers, Dark of the Moon.
I'll give you that for Transformers, but I think Real Steel is a really fun family blockbuster.
Man, I just keep stepping on your toes here. I'm so sorry.
I'm not saying it's great. I'm just saying it has... Sean Levy is good at fun movies.
Hold on, I gotta call my mom. I found a Real Steel fan. This rocks.
They exist. They exist. We got one.
So I'm coming in with this shitty attitude, right? Then I heard this film review by this senior associate lecturer from Ravensbourne University, London. You two people know him as Christopher Bingham. He brought up that the people who picked this film apart for the time travel mechanics very much missing the point. And I thought, oh, that rocks, because he's not talking about me. I'm upset the characters on the train are boring. But then he brought up that at its heart, this movie is about a soldier who's being forced to continue serving his country even after already paying the ultimate price over and over again. And that the fact that characters on the train have boring, stupid problems is supposed to accentuate what Gyllenhaal's character is doing. Like, he alone has to contend with this fucking domestic terror attack that's gonna kill millions of people. And they're, on the train whining about, my stock trade! Or the train is a couple minutes late, I'm gonna kill myself. He's got this totally thankless job, where if he fucks up, everybody's dead, and if he absolutely nails it, nobody's gonna know. So, mea culpa, I should analyze the screenplay more for what it is, instead of the fictional movie I thought it should be. I'm watching The Sopranos for the first time, and I've gotten way too used to every single character having weapons-grade dialogue, okay? But I do think it's fair to point out, Michelle Monaghan's character is a barely disguised manic pixie dream girl. The cast and above-the-line crew did a panel at South by Southwest, and you can hear her say, Christina Warren is everything she hates about a character normally. She, signed on because she thought the structure of the film was cool. Instead of being a fully fleshed out person, she's this easy-baked girlfriend who's one coffee date away from being in love with the protagonist. But it's fine. It's fine. You have to give Captain Coulter Stevens something to live for, and Michelle Monaghan would motivate just about anybody to risk their lives. She's one of the prettiest women in the fucking universe. To switch to talking about some positives, though, because I'm not a jerk off, Jake Gyllenhaal is so good in this. He plays a military guy really fucking well. Anyone who's seen Jarhead knows this. This is also kind of an interesting piece of post-9/11 wish fulfillment. What if you took this soldier who died overseas, we don't know how, brought them home, and had them thwart one of those insane, stochastic terrorist white guys that, 4chan produces a Henry Ford assembly line. We grew up watching all these young men get mutilated for oil profits. On an emotional level, it's very gratifying. Watch one of them get promoted to civilian with a hot girlfriend via some kind of multiversal quantum leap machine. You get some okay time loop moments that mostly pay off in that final run, where he stomps the bad guy and he treats everybody to a stand-up show and hangs out at the Bean. It was also very interesting that they show you flashes of the movie's happy ending every time he teleports from the pod to a new the universe. It's like that thing where you know a movie's not over yet because you saw a cool scene in the trailer that hasn't happened yet. The shot of like Michael B. Jordan with the Tommy gun. It's like the final line in the movie echoing through like the whole edit, letting viewers know that everything's gonna be all right, which contrasts well with the bleak feelings you probably get realizing that this guy was basically dead when the movie started. Tonally, I think it was a smart move. Overall, I would say this is a decent sci-fi movie that plays really well the first time you watch it. Its most effective characteristics, I think, play on the way people feel about soldiers in the post-9/11 world. But it does feel a little bit like Source Code walked so Edge of Tomorrow could run, in my opinion. That said, as a sophomore feature that was made for only $32 million, I really feel like I need to grade this on a curve. I'm giving Source Code like a 7 out of 10. Unless it's the first time watching it, 9 out of 10. Back to you, Tanner.
All right, fair enough. This is one of my favorite movies ever made. I'm not kidding. It's on my all-time favorite movies list. I fucking love Source Code. Every critique Austin just levied at it are probably more or less correct. I can't really disagree with them. Michelle Monaghan is a fairly paper-thin character. But at the end of the day, that's all, like, secondary to what the movie's trying to accomplish, which is arguably bad feminism of me to just go, yeah, she's just an object, whatever. But, like, it's not trying to be a feminist movie. If I wanted to analyze this through a feminist lens, yeah, I could critique it that way. But that stuff does not bother me, because at the end of the day, to me, it's a character piece. It's a thriller character piece. At its core, it's about this guy. We've seen movies about people realizing they're dying. Bill Nighy Living from a few years ago, which was a remake of a Akira Kurosawa movie whose name escapes me right now.
Ikaru?
Thank you. I still need to see Ikaru. I've heard it's great. We've seen movies of people reckoning with the fact that they are going to die. There is not a lot of movies out there that at least feature in part a person reckoning with the fact that they're dead already. Partially because, one, how do you construct such a scenario that someone has to reckon with being dead? This movie figured it out. And two, I guess it's mostly just that. It's mostly just how do you create that? Not a lot of afterlife movies out there, I guess. Mm-hmm. And even that, like Eternity from last year, a movie I quite enjoyed, had a little bit of our main character being like, "Oh, I'm dead," and adjusting to that. But only so much. I'm thinking. Yeah, at the end of the day, though, it's a character piece focusing on Gyllenhaal. Of this, the post 9/11 war stuff, it's really interesting. This movie came out about 10 years after 9/11, and we're now 25 years on after 9/11, which, to put that in perspective, 25 years before 9/11 would have been 1976, which is only a year after the Vietnam War officially ended. So the distance between 9/11 to now is about the same as the distance from the Vietnam War to 9/11. We are old, Austin. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. We're getting old.
Fuck. I was waiting for you to kick my ass about my opinions, and then you just whacked me with that. I'm so proud of you, dog.
You're old. So our feelings on 9/11 are different, but I feel like 10 years on, we still had a very... terrorism, at least on the domestic side here in America, was still like... It still felt fresh. I felt like, I don't know when we entered a proper post 9/11 era, but I do know that in 2011, it still felt like we were living through the 9/11 era. I don't know when we transitioned from 9/11 era to not 9/11 era anymore. Part of that is because I was 3 when 9/11 happened, so I don't really remember a pre 9/11 era. My earliest memories are of, I think, September 11th. And they are very vague memories, very vague memories. So, there's just, at the end of the day, though, it's fucking fun. It's a cool, fun movie. I like seeing him go through the loop. And you know what? You know how some movies say this thing takes place over 8 minutes and then like 13 minutes pass and they're still in the thing? This movie does not have this problem. Every time loop is less than 8 minutes long, actually. The longest one goes for 7.5 minutes. Which feels crazy because they do stuff so much storytelling into each loop.
Yep.
I think the visual effects work here are really impressive. I think the explosion every time it happens looks really great. I think those shots of him in the mirror looking at the original guy, which, by the way, actually we'll get into this in general discussion. It's a funny thing I want to bring up. I think a cool VFX thing, and Austin, I think you'll appreciate this, that I just found out before recording, is a very invisible VFX thing. The white van, when he discovers the white van that has the dirty bomb in it, Austin, this blew my mind.
Oh yeah.
The chest with the star and the chest with the stars and stripes on it, that was real. Everything else in the back of that van was a visual effect.
Yes, it was.
Really impressive for 2011, I think.
It looked completely real. If you never told me that they nailed photorealism in that scene.
Yeah, that was great.
Jesus.
Fantastic. Really fantastic work. The visual effects in general are great. Michelle Monaghan, despite being written as a pretty paper thin character, I think plays the character great. I think she does fantastic work for what little she's given. The scene where she tells Gyllenhaal that his friend died and therefore is telling Gyllenhaal he's dead, I think really worked. And I think that's partially because of her. It is also because I think some of Gyllenhaal's best acting is in that scene, which is when he goes, there's just the subtle like shaking his head like, no, that's no. Which became a GIF later on, which is so funny because I feel like that GIF represents minor disagreement when you see it online. Like a guy going, no. But then if you know the context, it's a guy being devastated finding out he's dead. Character actor Jeffrey Wright is in this. I forgot he was in this, and when I saw him in the opening credits, I went, Jeffrey Wright is in this? Oh my god.
Bro, I forgot Vera Farmiga was in this. The whole beleaguered castle thing.
Which is so funny because she's arguably more of a lead than Michelle Monaghan is.
That's a good point. That's accurate. She's
you look at a movie like this and you think, how did they only make it for $32 million? You have to really think about it. It is quite economical. How many locations are there? There's the office that Vera Farmiga and Jeffrey Wright are in. There's the train. There's the train station. There's the bean, and then there's the fucking void that Gyllenhaal is hanging out in, which, quite frankly, you could construct that set for 10 grand at most.
Yep.
Really, I think the most expensive thing location-wise might just be getting a location permit to film at the bean.
That's completely fair. Because, yeah, a lot of the train station exteriors were just like a set they built in Montreal. Something like that.
That's not... There is no train station in Chicago or near Chicago that looks like this. I'm gonna be honest.
Hate to break it to you.
Yeah. But it looks great, too, by the way. Just very visually appealing. Shot on film. I think things were better when everything was shot on film.
Mostly shot on film. All the stuff on the train is on film. For a lot of the stuff where Gyllenhaal's in, like, the Nexus, that was shot on an enhanced red camera. Because they needed the extra ability to manipulate things. I at least know everything on the train was on film.
Yeah, I imagine, especially because, like, it's low light in that void thing, too, which digital is better at low light than film is. That's just a fact. There is no film stock that can capture low light better than any digital I've ever seen. It doesn't mean it's going to be an appealing image. It's going to be a noisy image, but it is great at capturing low light. That's the problem. Digital can look just as good as film. It's just that digital allows you to get lazy with your lighting.
That's a secret. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that digital is inherently bad. It's that it enables laziness. God, I watched this on Monday, so almost a week ago now. I was a little sick, a little upset in the tummy, but, you know, I was tanking through it. It's just such a fun, cool movie. You watch it, and you can't help, like, a scene happens, or, like, Gyllenhaal figures something out, and I kept going, like, fuck, man, this is so cool. This is so cool. Like, grinning like a child the whole time. It's just so fun, and I'm sure Austin and I will have a little bit more to say about this movie that I love and he just likes after a brief commercial break.
How about next time time you drive to work.
There's not gonna be a next time.
Welcome back from that commercial for another commercial. You see this fucking shit over, fuck, there? That's a movie palette. That one's for the movie Punch Drunk Love. If you've seen the show before, you know Tim has one for the movie Mandy. Basically takes the primary color of every frame of a movie, slices it up in these little palettes, or little stages, and puts it on a palette for your viewing pleasure. Movie palette. It's a great thing. You can get one for your favorite movie, you can get one for source code, and if it's not on there, for a little extra money, you can get one custom made for you. So go to moviepalette.com, and when you're checking out, enter the code SQUAD15 to save 15% on your order. All right, now back to the show. All right, so let's talk about the common cinema sins critique of this movie, which is to say that it's a lazy criticism, but can be kind of funny.
What is it? I didn't rewatch the CinemaSins video for this.
I haven't either. I don't watch them anymore. I can't believe I used to like them. Maybe it's because I just thought it was a joke.
Yeah, it was weird because it combined like, oh, that's really observant. Like, it's detail-oriented, and there was like a bit of humor in it at first. I feel like they got cheaper as time went on. Like, they focused on quantity over quality. Maybe.
It was better when they were 6 to 10 minutes long because they were just focused on jokes. And then after 25, 30 minutes long, it's like, all right, you just have fucking beef with movies, I guess.
They accidentally ruined film criticism for like a million dumb white guys.
Like, you realize that, oh, they actually think these things.
That's a shame.
Anyway, the criticism of it is that Coulter Stevens steals this guy's life.
Oh, like Wonder Woman 1984. I don't know. Do you have thoughts? That's complicated, ethically, because he's already dead. No.
My thought process on it is that this universe only exists because Jake Gyllenhaal was sent back through the source code.
Yes, that, and if Jake Gyllenhaal did not possess this man, that guy would be barbecue. So it's like the best
he would have died.
Yeah.
He would have died otherwise. Like, someone's like, what a deeply cynical ending. This character died because Jake Gyllenhaal gets to live. I guess the U.S. soldier deserves to live more. That's not fair play. I mean, listen, that's as far as he gets, and now everyone around him gets to live a long, peaceful life because he gave up his body to our sweet, hot Gyllenhaal. Like, it's not as fucked up as it. Like, Sean Fentress is gonna die. He's gonna die if he isn't possessed. I don't know. It's not that ethically complicated. Yeah.
Maybe.
I do feel bad for his English class, though, that he's teaching. Because something tells me Gyllenhaal is not qualified to do that. And he's going to have to fucking learn really fucking fast.
He's going to come in here. They're going to be in the middle of Great Expectations. He's going to throw the book out and pull out a copy of The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. He's going to be like, we love this one, don't we?
We love this one, folks.
I read that
Tom Cruise is in the movie.
Shut the fuck up!
I love The Outsiders. It is my favorite Francis Ford Coppola movie, fun fact. So the musical adaptation of The Outsiders earlier this year, really good.
I'm happy to hear that. It's always interesting to find what movies adapt to musicals well.
If you're a talented enough writer, anything can. But also, I'm sick and tired of them just... I do not think it is good for the long-term health of musical theater if every fucking musical is just an adaptation of an 80s movie.
That's true, yeah. It's just Hollywood's illness infecting a different medium.
Literally.
Tanner, do you have any idea what you'd make if you made a time loop movie? Me and the other Bomb Squad people, we have a betting pool for this. My guess is that you'd make a movie set on November 22nd, 2000, where a character is trying to stop the Bush v. Gore election from getting rigged. Now tell me I'm wrong.
That's a good one. A time loop movie of a guy trying to stop the Brooks Brothers riot would be kind of funny.
He's got to go kill the governor of Florida.
Honestly, I think a good time loop movie would... I don't know how it would do it. It might be like a week-long time loop or something, but I think I would make a time loop movie leading up to the 2016 presidential election.
Oh, that whips. There's like a run of it where he just fucking whacks James Comey in the head. Comey's in a coma, and like the election goes completely different. I mean, yeah, there's so much shit you could explore there.
Trump wins by more somehow in the universe where Comey gets whacked because everyone thinks Hillary did it.
We find out that Cambridge Analytica had the election so much more rigged than we thought. Guy has to go in there and blow up their headquarters. Like, you could do so much with a movie like that.
It ends with him having to kill Mark Zuckerberg. This is why they won't let me make this movie.
I think it's been long enough. This is mine. We should make a 9/11 time loop movie. So get this. The character wakes up in New York on September 11th, 2001, right at midnight. And he only has 8 hours and 46 minutes to stop 9/11. He tries, like bridging the communication gap between intelligence agencies. He tries kidnapping George W. Bush. He tries getting on one of the planes himself. And then there's this big third act twist where he goes into Tower 7 and he backs up all the incriminating financial documents, calls up John Negroponte on the phone and says, "It's over, John. You're fucked." Then he convinces those Saudi guys to just land the planes. And at the end, he teleports to a future America that has high-speed rail and a multi-party parliamentary system.
Oh, God, the multi-party parliament. You're going to make me come.
Mamma mia.
I actually do think, unironically, a 9/11 in a time loop scenario is actually so incredibly intriguing. I think even if you just take it seriously, the financial crimes thing would be a funny ending. I don't think that's how it would go down if they actually made a movie. But I do think you could make a great time loop movie out of 9/11. But nobody would let you make a time loop movie of 9/11. Hear me out, though. Starring Mark Wahlberg. Because it wouldn't have gone down like that if he was there.
He's built different.
Mr. Sunday Movies, or Nick Maso of Mr. Sunday Movies says a great bit about this. He's never said, if I was on the planes on 9/11, it wouldn't have happened. He just says it wouldn't have gone down like that, which, in my opinion, maintains the possibility it could have gone worse. If Mark Wahlberg was there, it could have gone worse.
Just by introducing Wahlberg into the equation, it goes down differently. He's 100% correct. Syntactually. That's fucking amazing. I would love... I feel like every producer you go to for the 9/11 time loop movie, no matter which one it is, big or small, they all go, my brother died in 9/11. That's the line you get.
Yeah, everything, no matter what.
Fuck. Have you ever seen the Tony Scott movie, The Hunger?
I've seen only a couple of Tony Scott movies. He's a blind spot for me, which is weird because I think I'd really like his work.
It varies in quality a little bit, but okay, so The Hunger. It's got David Bowie as a fucking vampire, right? Colossal piece of shit. Barely got through it. Me and Sid falling asleep. Had to watch it in installments. But that movie is the reason Source Code exists. So in the late 90s, they're making a TV show out of The Hunger for the Sci-Fi Channel, and before each episode, they have a host come out and introduce it, like the Twilight Zone. For the first season, it was Terrence Stamp, R.I.P. For season 2, it was David Bowie, R.I.P. Well, there was this time, before Duncan Jones was a feature director, he was actually getting his PhD in philosophy. He got invited, though. David Bowie was like, "Son, come to the set of The Hunger for the Sci-Fi Channel to hang out." And he met Tony Scott, and that's what inspired him to go into film school, was hanging out on the set of that show no one's ever seen. He got started doing commercials, and then he worked his way up, got enough funding for Moon. Yeah, that's kind of how this all happened. One thing I thought was interesting, did you listen to any old Duncan Jones interviews studying for this episode?
No, I honestly don't even know what he sounds like.
Edgar Wright. I don't know, he sounds like a generic British guy.
I figured.
One thing that's interesting listening to those old interviews is the first thing he keeps bringing up, the first thing he wanted to make was the movie Mute. It was kind of like that thing with Obayashi where he wanted to make Hanagata-me first, but he had to just keep over and over again making less complicated shit until he finally got around to the project he wanted to do first. And in hindsight, it feels a little bit bad. You're watching him during interviews for these good movies, Moon and Source Code. He keeps bringing up everyone's so excited for Mute. I can't wait to make Mute. And then finally, it's his 4th movie. It comes out on Netflix in 2018. Bomb. Director jail forever. Just 35 on Metacritic. 21 on Rotten Tomatoes. It feels kind of bad. That was like, he came in hot on the scene and would not shut the fuck up. He's like, one day we're gonna make Mute. We're gonna make it, boys. And now, 8 years on, it feels a little bit fucked up. That's all.
Yeah, especially because Mute is bad.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Mute?
I saw half of it.
Oh.
And I remember going, I won't finish this tomorrow. What was it, 8 years ago?
8 years ago. We need him
I watched
back.
half of it.
We need Duncan
He made
Jones
two
back.
great movies. You want to hear some fun alternate casting?
Fuck yeah, I do. Hit me with it.
So Michelle Monaghan was a last-minute selection.
Okay.
Originally, that role was going to be played by, I shit you not, Lindsay Lohan.
What? Oh.
The production of this movie pretty heavily coincided when she started having legal issues.
Holy shit. So, on all the interviews and stuff, they just say like, oh yeah, we love Michelle. We saw her in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and went, that's our girl. I had no idea.
And that's true. That's the reason why Duncan Jones went to her as the first replacement. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. Maybe she was Duncan Jones's first choice, but Lindsay Lohan was probably a bit more of a name then.
Yeah, Herbie Fully Loaded.
What was Michelle Monaghan known for before Source Code? Source Code? Source Code. I guess Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and Mission Impossible 3?
Yeah, I can't think of
Am I missing anything?
else. I feel bad. I love Michelle. Yeah.
I can't think of any movies she was in other than those. I guess she was in Pixels.
They got Vera Farmiga.
She's in Gone Baby Gone. Oh my God, she's in Gone Baby Gone. How did I forget that?
They got Vera Farmiga because she was good and Up in the Air, I think was why they chose her. Wait, was Vera Farmiga a second pick?
No, Vera Farmiga was the first pick.
Okay.
And I believe Jake Gyllenhaal was the only person they got seriously close to casting at all. But at some point, Topher Grace was considered to play the main character. And I'm going to say, hot take, I think he could do it.
Oh,
Topher
yeah.
Grace, I think, is a very talented actor. Very funny how during the making of that 70s show, it was a big thing about how, like, the other cast members didn't really hang out with Topher Grace, and everyone assumed it was because Topher was an asshole. Hindsight being 2020, Topher was probably the only non-asshole on that set, actually.
I'm just thinking of him now, like he gets off the train and goes in a church and is like, "Dear God, will you please kill me?" That's Jesus. Okay, Topher Grace. I heard Gyllenhaal was like developing the script with Ben Ripley, so that surprises me.
I do think that's true. I'm thinking this might have been like really early before the script was even done.
Oh, got it. I gotta read that original script. They keep talking like it's so much less funny than the final movie, like it's a darker, grittier, more like science-heavy source code. Could be a decent read.
The humor is crucial, I think.
Yeah. Yes.
Though it's interesting to say that, because what has Ben Ripley really done since this?
I think I looked at his Wikipedia page and it's all, what do you call it? Dog shit. I don't think he's done a single good thing.
He wrote the 2017 Flatliners remake.
.1 dog shit.
And then last year, a movie he wrote came out that was about that fucking guy. Remember in 2018, that fucking American missionary that went to the North Sentinel Island?
Oh, what, did he get killed? I know people who go there.
Yeah, he got killed.
Okay, made a movie about that.
They made a movie about that. It's just interesting because Source Code, which he sold in 2007, the spec script, it's just so great. It's crazy to me that apparently he's never been able to write anything good since. Such is the way of the writer. It's also very possible that he has a dozen scripts that are way better than Source Code that nobody's picked up yet. Especially because the way the movie industry is having, I think it's always cool when a director writes his own scripts. That's cool. It's starting to be a little worrying lately that I feel like the last like 5 or 6 screenplay winners directed their scripts. I think it's better health-wise for the industry. Obviously, you can write and direct your own script. I do that all the fucking time.
you shouldn't have to go out and be the writer, director, auteur guy.
Like Scorsese has written some of his films, but he hasn't written all of them. Matter of fact, I think he has not written most of them. Spielberg, very famously, doesn't really write his own scripts. The Fabelmans, I think, was unique in that regard, and that's because it was so borderline autobiographical. Like, I'm looking at Spielberg's IMDb page right now. He has 27 writing credits.
Sorry. Now I've got the image of him, like, having Lawrence Kasdan over, and he's like, hey, Larry, we're gonna write something, and then he just trauma dumps on him about his childhood.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
So Spielberg has 27 writing credits, but a solid third of them are just because he was the creator of the Medal of Honor video game series. I'm not kidding.
That's hilarious.
Before The Fabelmans, the last movie he had a writing credit for was AI.
Nice.
And before that, he has writing credits on Poltergeist and Close Encounters. This is a fun thing I'm just finding out, though. He has a story by credit for Disclosure Day.
Ooh. That's
interesting.
Curious. He's always
Did not know that.
He's always been about those aliens. When he was a kid, he made Firelight. He made Close Encounters in his basement before he made Close Encounters. Like, he's always been an alien guy.
It's just interesting because the last time he has a story by credit is for Goonies.
Oh.
So he hasn't had a story by credit in almost 40 years. Sorry, we're talking about source code, though.
You brought up that the humor was important. So one of the things you and I both ran into with this movie is the lack of bonus features on the Blu-ray, right?
Yeah, I could have watched the like special like going behind the scenes with pop-up credit shit, but I didn't have time. Yeah. I'm interested in it, but it's also a lame bonus feature. Just make a making of documentary.
God damn it. I listened to the commentary track. I watched as many making of YouTube videos as I could find. There's a weird amount of those. Fuck knows where. The commentary track itself, though, it had like one big standout thing. Most of it was weird. It was like they didn't say a lot of substantial making of stuff, and it seemed like everyone was mad at Gyllenhaal for being there. But like the one thing that stood out to me from the commentary track was in the story, Russell Peters. You know how he's doing stand-up at the end of the movie? He plays the stand-up comedian guy, right? So sometime early in production, the movie was kind of like started being designed to be PG-13. The original screenplay had 10 F-bombs. They cut it down to 1. The VFX companies, when they were doing the explosion scenes, they had to be very mindful of like the way the violence looked. Meanwhile, Duncan Jones thought it would be a fun idea for stand-up comedian Russell Peters to keep his comedy routine for the end of the movie a total secret until the day of filming. So apparently, his whole routine was like Andrew Dice Clay, Gilbert Gottfried level shit. They barely had anything to work with. They're fucking in the editing bay freaking out. Even what we've got in the film kind of suggests that he went way beyond what's allowed to PG-13. The one bit we hear from him is about him fucking a girl, and she's like telling like him like get off. But I think it's funny that like the mutilated Jake Gyllenhaal corpse might not have been their biggest obstacle to a PG-13 rating. It was fucking that guy.
Yeah, I remember there being a shot in this movie, almost a bird's eye perspective of a Gyllenhaal corpse wriggling around without his arms and legs, and then you see it in the movie. I'm like, oh, that's barely anything. Mm-hmm. Pretty impressive visual effects. You can tell it's CGI with the brain. That's pretty good. Is it not CGI? Is that a prop?
It's a big animatronic, actually. Believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That was, I guess, the other thing from the commentary track. It was actually a practical, and it had a bunch of like crazy shit going on inside it.
I don't know why I was so convinced it was CGI then. Interesting.
It's wild. I mean, yeah, you can see his brain. That must have been weird calculus to do, because you know the MPAA is kind of cagey about where the line is, so people don't skirt it. Like the one F-bomb is like the closest we get. With violence, it's much harder.
And
to
even
tell.
then, that's not a hard and fast rule with the one F-bomb. Like The Martian had 2.
Right, yeah. Gunner Palace had 1,000 F-bombs. But it must have been weird, like they're planning out and they're like, we need this to get a PG-13. And it's like, okay, so how much of his brain can we have sticking out of his skull? How gross can we make the nubs at the end of his limbs? Like, how'd they figure that out? That must have been a weird dance. Or maybe they edited in post? I don't know. fucking weird.
Yeah, that being an animatronic, which meant that would give them no flexibility in post, is kind of impressive. This movie has a fun cameo. You want to talk about a movie of a guy that creates alternate universes or goes into alternate universes? There's a pretty famous piece of 90s media about a guy that goes into 90s universes. That's the TV show Quantum Leap. Scott Bakula plays the voice of Jake Gyllenhaal's dad.
Oh my god.
Scott Bakula, fun fact, Kirkwood High School graduate, my high school. I told you in the pre-show, Austin, there was a Kirkwood High School connection.
We love the Bakula family. We love the Bakulas.
Yeah, we actually work with one of his cousins. No. True story.
I didn't know if we were going for it. Yeah, the Bakulas are great. We're big Bakula fans here.
Yeah. Cool. I never realized I was in until I was reading the trivia. I was like, oh shit.
Hey,
that's crazy.
You know that scene where he profiles the Islamic guy and he goes out on the park bench and like tackles him?
And it's so funny because that guy is innocent. That feels like a hint of post 9/11. We're reckoning with what we did to the Arab people.
I wonder if that scene played different back in 2011, because now it's just insanity. Like that guy.
Now it's just like, oh, he's racist.
That guy's giving off no suspicious vibes, besides maybe that he's got like those types of glasses. Like there's nothing about him that signals.
And he seems nervous, but like some people are just nervous.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, when he's like getting in the fight and the cop shows up and he does the spin move, in the background, you can see the white van with that fucking guy on top with the binoculars ready to detonate the bomb.
Oh!
It's very brief. You know, blink and you'll miss it, but it's back there. I've confirmed this.
It's so cool rewatching this movie. When you forgot about it, because 15 years on, when I rewatched it this time, when that guy went back, when you see the part where the guy gives him his ID, I was like, oh, it's him.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell if that's because I remembered it or if it's that obvious in the script. I can't tell.
What probably happened is all these years on, we know what a domestic terrorist really looks like now because we've had a million.
And it looks like
them.
him.
It looks exactly like him. This was ahead of its time. Unless... I don't know, unless it was like things were the same back then, like every week it was a new school shooting from a guy who looked like
I'm
that.
looking up what Timothy McVeigh looked like when he bombed Oklahoma City.
It's just a fucking mirror image of that guy. Same fucking sweat, coat.
Kinda. Though I'll tell you, this photo of Timothy McVeigh for some reason is incredibly disturbing. I know this doesn't make for good audio format, but I need... Austin, you need to fucking see this shit. This shit is disturbing. Wait, you're recording the screen. Here, I'm gonna send you it on Facebook. You'll look at it after recording. This shit is... I don't know why this photo of him is upsetting me so much. But it's very upsetting to look at.
Open it up. It's just fucking... Oh! Oh!
Okay, you see why that's upsetting to look at?
Jamie, pull up that picture of Timothy McVeigh.
Yeah, hold on. Maybe I need to fucking send this to Tim.
That's... I don't know, yeah, he looks like one of those kids from, like, Gus Van Sant's Elephant. I don't know what's going on here, but it's setting off a primal fear.
I just realized that I just sent that screenshot I sent to you to Tim, because I was like, oh, he'll put it in the episode, but I just realized I just sent it to him with no context.
All right, let's take a beat to let Tim know that he's been caught. We got Timothy McVeigh.
We got Timothy McVeigh? You know that him, Kaczynski, and the World Trade Center bomber were all on the same cell block or some shit?
That's tight. I wonder if they like.
Apparently the 9/11 bomber kept trying to convert McVeigh to Islam, and McVeigh found it annoying.
Inshallah, fucking Allah protects us. Dig this. So Moving Picture Company, MPC, they handled the big explosion on the train, the one you see a bunch of times. The actual train model itself was built by Modus FX. They did it in Autodesk Soft Image, rest in peace. One thing I thought was kind of funny was the destruction toolkit that MPC used for blowing up this train was actually built on some stuff they developed for the minigun samurai scene in Sucker Punch. That's probably the only connection between this and Sucker Punch, is that MPC used the same tools. because otherwise there's probably no fucking links before that movie. Also, another VFX thing. You know that spectacular scene where Jake Gyllenhaal jumps off the moving train and just royally eats shit? Fucking...
Yeah.
That edit rules. They got one shot of him jumping and another shot of him rolling. Basically, 2/3 of the shot is straight up Jake. But then they used a CG digi-double to fill in the middle part where we would have gotten hurt. They had this like full body Gyllenhaal scan done by a Canadian company called XYZ RGB, big pioneers in the photogrammetry like space. But Duncan Jones, he wanted to simulate the tumble on this software called Endorphin. That software was previously used, I think it was battle scenes in Troy and crowd scenes in Poseidon, the 2006 movie. So they kind of had this base to work on that was simulated, and then the animation staff, they like, I think it was Oblique VFX, did keyframe improvements on the simulated model. So that was kind of what went into there. I'm so mad this fucking Blu-ray doesn't have bonus features. The VFX alone are worth talking about.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool subtle VFX. We love subtle VFX, don't we, folks? I know I do.
Subtle VFX, the whole train VFX.
Yeah.
I was shocked by how much of that train was not a real train, which is to say all of it.
Basically, like, what, 99% of this movie was shot in Montreal?
Mm-hmm. A lot of green
And then
screen.
The Bean is shot in Chicago, right? That's actually in Chicago?
Yeah.
I think? Okay.
Technically, the outside of the train that you see behind the characters was shot in Chicago. They got on an actual Chicago train, and they had 6 cameras. I think, like, one filming each side, upper deck, lower deck, and I can't remember what the third one was filming, maybe front and back. And they were able to make this big-ass 8K map that they could kind of wrap around the green screen scenes. Apparently getting the horizon line right was a bitch.
I'm just reading the IMDb trivia right now, and apparently 5 actors in this movie were also in The Day After Tomorrow. Obviously Gyllenhaal, but then Gordon Maston, Joe Cobden, Ann Day Jones, and Matt Holland were all in The Day After Tomorrow. They all had incredibly small roles in that movie too. Like Matt Holland, for example, is RAF number 1.
Yeah, this was made by the Mark Gordon Company, the same people who made The Day After Tomorrow and the other Roland Emmerich movies. That might be the connection there.
Wait, is that true?
Yes, this was it was most of the money came from Venadrome Pictures, but the Mark Gordon Company came in and also did some producing
I understand. 2012 funded this movie. I have a theory, right? I have a theory. Every person only ever likes 2 Roland Emmerich movies.
Shit, you're right.
They like Independence Day, and then they like whatever the first Roland Emmerich movie they saw was.
You're right, because I never saw 2012, I never saw The Day After Tomorrow, but I did see Moonfall, and I do like Moonfall. Yeah. It's so
In my
crazy.
case, I really like 2012. I think it is a very fun disaster movie. I also kind of like The Day After Tomorrow, only because that one's, I mean, yeah, it has the crazy cool, like, whoa, disaster weather. It's also just kind of like a bit of it feels a little more focused on the characters than other movies do. 2012, just stupid fun. Woody Harrelson's playing a stoner in the woods that gets fucking lavaed on.
One thing I really love about 2012, it made my life better. So for the trailer for 2012, they used this alternate song that was cut out of The Shining. I think Wendy Carlos did it. I think. It's called Bloody Elevators, and it's one of the scariest fucking tracks I've ever heard. And they used it for the 2012 trailer, and I always wanted to put that in a movie, because it's just freaky sounding. Go watch the old 2012 trailer. Hear for yourself. Yeah, I'm happy it brought that into my life, even though, again, I haven't seen 2012. Big John Cusack fan. He's in that, right? He's the main?
He's the lead. He's the main character.
Love John Cusack.
He's great in it. Fucking, oh my god, what's his name? There's a director in it that, like, so you know how, like, every Roland Emmerich movie, I'm sorry, I know we're talking about source code, but this is very quick. Every Roland Emmerich movie fucking has a guy that's the stepdad that sucks, except half the time it's not the stepdad that sucks, it's just a normal guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, point being, inexplicably in 2012, stepdad character is played by Tom McCarthy.
I don't know that name. I'm a piece of shit.
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. The guy that directed Spotlight. Yeah.
He plays the butt monkey in a Roland Emmerich movie.
Yeah, he has a lot of acting credits. He has over 40 acting credits. That's more than I thought he had.
Wow.
But it's so funny because I feel like I know him more as a director than an editor, or as a director than an actor. Anyway, source code.
I can't think of a single nice thing to say about the Vera Farmiga Jeffrey Wright parts. I didn't even, I had a paragraph in my notes where I shit on it, but I couldn't figure out why I was shitting on it. It's just, it didn't work for me for some reason.
I like Jeffrey Wright as this guy that doesn't care about people's well-being, but it's just the science. Jeffrey Wright's pretty good at playing that. He's good at playing smart characters.
Right. I think him and Duncan Jones met on the set of Basquiat, from what I heard, which is neat.
Is Basquiat good?
Please release the color cut of Basquiat on 4K, you bastards. I've never seen it. I was waiting for the 4K, and then I found out they only released a black and white version on 4K, so now I'm stuck in limbo with the movie Basquiat.
Sorry. Tim just responded with me by saying, "Oh, okay," when all I did was send him that screenshot.
I was hoping he would send the MC Ride, incomprehensible. May God have mercy on your soul.
Mercy on your soul. The Shaquille O'Neal one.
I always thought that was MC Ride from Death Grips. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's Shaquille O'Neal, my guy.
It was the deep fried nature of the medium.
No, sorry. No, imagine Shaquille O'Neal going, it goes, dude. But in his fucking Shaq voice, I'm the big diesel. I can't even get my voice that deep. Imagine Shaquille O'Neal singing Guillotine. It's right to say that's a song you sing. It's not really a song you sing. It's
a song you shout, yeah.
Yeah. True story. Rain and I, when I was in LA, we went through Beverly Hills, which is a rich, Beverly Hills. It's very bougie rich.
Yeah.
We went through the most rich person mall in existence. We drove through it, and he had this idea. We rolled our windows down and played Guillotine.
Oh my God.
I don't think anybody got it. I don't think anybody understood what was happening, but it was very funny to him and I.
Serial numbered killer machine. The illest of means. That rocks. Good for you bringing Death Grips back to the bougie mall.
I was the one that got when we were doing that, I said, I can't believe they're making another album. He went, what?
Wait, what? Wait, Death
Austin,
Grips is making another
Death
album?
Grips is back. Death Grips is back. They're making another album. This is true. Did you not know this? This came out months ago.
Oh, this is amazing. I wonder if
I'm so happy to break the good news.
Ex-Military is one of my favorite albums ever. I fucking love Death Grips.
No, November of last year, they announced they were making another album.
This is great. Wait, are they finally releasing Jenny Death? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Please.
No, they're actually just doing They're just doing covers of Beach Boys songs. It goes. Good vibrations. We're not talking about source code anymore. We should stop.
Yeah, that's completely fair. Let's pull the plug.
I like the Vera Farmiga and Jeffrey Wright parts, but they are probably the quote-unquote weakest parts of the movie. When it's just them, you're definitely waiting for the camera to go back on Gyllenhaal. But Gyllenhaal's so magnetic. He's just really good as the type of actor that is the star of the show. You know what I mean? When the camera's 95% about him and on him, he's really good at that. Not every actor is good at that. There are some actors out there that are fantastic lead actors that can't do that.
Yeah, he sells you on the whole everyman thing, the magnetically attractive everyman. He's somehow relatable and super charismatic at the same time. He found a way to bridge that gap. Like a normal guy who's somehow still miraculously larger than life. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I guess it's also hard because the way they're communicating with him, there's distance, which maybe contrasts too heavily with the close quarters on the train. They have to keep looking down to read the text on the screen and everything, and a lot of it is just them withholding information and not feeling too emotionally beat up about it. It's not the greatest. Do you have a favorite time loop thing besides the ending when he completely stomps that guy? A time loop moment where it kicks ass.
I'm thinking. Because it's not like he like goes back and reuses stuff on previous loops until the end.
Yep.
Like he's just doing. That's an interesting. Most time loop movies, it's like they're learning something new every time after they figure out they're in a loop.
Yep.
This one, it's just he's just like doing different stuff each time, and he's not reusing shit until the end. I think that makes the ending all the more satisfying because he doesn't really reuse shit until the end. Once it's like after every loop, he finally figured out everything he needed to know to save everybody and shit.
Yeah, every single run until the very final one, he just like whiffs it in some like just horrible way, which we learn at the end of the movie. These are all real universes that are going to continue happening. That poor fucking guy, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, does that mean that the Jeffrey Wright is responsible for the deaths of collectively millions of people across different universes?
Oh yeah.
Actually, probably not millions, but tens of thousands.
Oh yeah, yeah. He just keeps making these universes where their giant train bomb happens. Yeah, it's chilling what happens there. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm trying to think of something else to talk about related to fucking source code. Oh.
Sorry, we talked about Roland Emmerich for too long and it reset our brains.
I had a weirdly...
The ex-boyfriend, Michelle Monaghan, is a picture of Duncan Jones.
I had no idea. That rocks.
That's one of the IMDb credits trivia. I'm looking at the other IMDb trivias.
You got this. I deliberately avoided looking at the IMDb trivia because I know it's your domain.
Principal photography lasted for 2 months.
Nice.
The composer started working on the movie the day after his wife gave birth, buddy.
Wow. Oh, shit. That's show business, yeah. The opening really hits you with the fucking Bernard Herrmann vibes. I'm not that musically inclined, but when this movie started playing and I was like watching it recently, I was just like, Alfred Hitchcock. Like the most obvious illusion Alfred Hitchcock type music I've ever seen. It's kind of cool. The opening credits have a good energy to them. Yeah.
Here's something interesting. The, early drafts of this script took place in New York as opposed to Chicago. And I've actually been on one of the trains that presumably this version of that script would have been on. I've been on the Long Island Railroad twice, which is like a long commuter train that goes, well, from Long Island into Manhattan. Deep into Manhattan. I'm talking like it drops you off at Grand Central. It's a different type of train from the subway, but when I first read this early drafts took place in New York, my first thought was, well, you couldn't do that. The subway's always fucking busy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But then I realized it would probably be like one of the more long route commuter trains in the New York area.
I actually forgot why they switched it to being in Chicago instead of New York. I remember that came up at some point. Never mind.
I imagine it's probably easier to make Montreal look like Chicago than it is to make Montreal look like New York.
That's fair. Very distinct.
That is my easy guess.
I gotta break out my notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Source code had 800 VFX shots. Moon had 400 VFX shots.
This has more VFX shots than Moon?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh,
according to this has several references to the Manchurian Candidate. Go ahead.
People need to really put in perspective, this was made for $32 million. They were batting way above, like, what they fucking had to spend here. I think of, like, District 9, that was made for almost exactly $30 million, and that's, like, got aliens and shit. I think this is really polished for a $32 million movie. Like, I think some people hear that, and they think, like, oh, you can do anything with $32 million. You can, but it won't look good. This movie, they fucking did great with the budget they had.
It's interesting that Jake Gyllenhaal never thought to bring up the fact that, because the third time loop, right? I think the third time loop actually directly alludes to the fact that source code is more powerful than Jeffrey Wright imagines.
Yeah.
Because if you remember in the third time loop, the bomb goes off, but Gyllenhaal is still alive and he's still going.
Yep.
It's not until like a minute later that he gets run over by a train.
Yep. and he tries to tell them, but he gets like, he's acting like a simp, so they don't believe him. Like, he keeps phrasing it like, oh, I could save this woman, instead of, I lived on after the moment I was, the train exploded. And so they
yeah, it's interesting that's how he phrased it, because, like, if he had just said that, they would have gone like, huh? But it's interesting, because it's like, the first time you watch the movie, you don't really think anything of that, but then you watch it a second time and you go, oh, shit. That is a detail that rewards a rewatch. Is realizing that it kind of gives it away.
Yeah, that is a good point.
All right, I think we're running on fumes. Final thoughts?
Yeah, definitely.
Austin, what are your final thoughts on Source Code? I have a gun. Hurry up.
Source Code is a slick, well-made science fiction movie that plays really effectively on people who lived through the shadow of the Iraq War. It's extremely polished considering the budget it had, and Jake Gyllenhaal carries this film on his back like it's his firstborn child. If you haven't seen it before, I highly recommend it. Mileage may vary on rewatches. Back to you.
I agree. Except for the mileage may vary. I think this is a great movie. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. Jake Gyllenhaal is great in it. It's a great movie. I can't recommend it enough. It is my favorite movie that features vaguely Islamophobic undertones in a scene.
Vaguely.
But you know who else features vaguely Islamophobic undertones?
Who?
You! Soldier boy up. No, I'm sorry, that's mean. You're not an Islamophobic audience. But thank you, the person watching / listening to this episode of Bomb Squad Matinee, for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you are watching on any of the audio platforms we're on, thank you. If you're watching on any of the audio platforms we're on, I'm sorry. If you're listening on any of the audio platforms we're on, we really appreciate it. How about you mosey on down below and leave us a review? It helps boost us in the algorithm or something. I don't know. I just work here. If you are listening, go to Patreon. $5 tier gets you access to the commentary tracks we release sometimes. $10 tier gets you access to a shout out at the end of the episode. So my mom, Tiny Craft, thank you very much for contributing. If you want to continue giving us money, bombsquadproductions.shop. That's right, they got merch now. We got some shirts, we got some pants, we got some cool stuff. Should be a lot of fun. Tune in and give us money. And if you are watching this on YouTube, thank you so very much for watching. We really appreciate it. How about you go down to the comment section below and let me know, what do you think of Source Code? What's your favorite Duncan Jones movie? What's your favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movie? What kind of time loop movie would you make? And finally, what's your favorite Roland Emmerich movie? Comment below and let me know. And while you're down there, hit the like button so you know how much you like us. Hit the subscribe button so you know how much you love us. Hit the bell icon to know exactly when we upload new videos. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tune in next week when we talk about one of the best movies of the 70s. Austin, do you know what we're doing next week?
I thought it was E-Fizz.
No, that's going to come out eventually. That's a movie night. That'll come out eventually.
Right on.
Next week's matinee, Austin, is for, let me make sure I get this right, because I want to make sure I get the year right.
Please be all the President's Men. Please be all the President's Men.
It's turning 50. It stars Robert De Niro and Jodie Foster. We're talking about Taxi Driver. Should be a lot of fun. Austin is going to get busted in an adult porno theater for this episode.
Holy shit! I had no idea we were doing Taxi Driver.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put you. I'm gonna go ahead and put you on here as a favor, since I know you ain't missing this one. Should be fun. Should be great. It's one of the greatest movies ever made. We'll see you then. Bye.
Holy shit! Oh my god!
I slid my ticket across the table and I said, "Sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl."